y'all? This is Greg. Greg said it live. Sunday after game edition. A lot of times we be looking forward to this. Everybody saying, "Hey, can't wait to the show day after," especially when it's some stuff we need to talk about. And we definitely have something to talk about. We had the first win in a minute. First, you can't say FCS because technically Delaware and even in Wyoming. They're lower tier programs, but they're not, they're FBS, not FCS programs. So a lot of times when you see Colorado play, people like to elevate the team. They're gonna play really, really high and lower what Colorado do way, way down low. So basically what I see is Colorado wins is like this, that, and then or it'd be Colorado, the team they played really wasn't as good as they thought. But it's like, who fault is it that you made them like world beaters? Like, I never would have thought Delaware would have been a world beater, or that Wyoming or anybody would you would elevate third string quarterbacks and all that to make them sound good. But that's what happened when you play Colorado. It's almost like they say everybody play Colorado is their Super Bowl. It feel like it. It feel like everybody that Colorado play is a Super Bowl worthy competitor or something. But I guess it's all, I don't know if it's selling or it's just that people want to see Colorado lose that bad. I think that's the case. I think they want to see Colorado lose so bad that they have wishful thinking, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you like this. I feel like what's going on, Willie Walker. What's going on? Y'all getting this chat, these likes up. Because we finally got that win. That what they call they set this bar. They set this bar saying, you ain't beat no conference or a top 25 team since TCU. And they've had a lot of chances, and they were close a lot of times, especially this year. I know when they played Georgia Tech, they wasn't ranked yet. They didn't want to give Georgia Tech no rank. That was risky, right? They've been ranked ever since. And they're undefeated too. But when you look at BYU, they were still ranked. When you look at Houston wasn't ranked, and TCU was still ranked, even though they had just lost. So either way, you will take that away from Colorado. But let me tell you something. These games look very identical. Colorado has played very identical, including yesterday. I'm going to be all the way real with y'all. It's a great win, but I don't think they played that much more different. I do think that Salter played different from the standpoint he threw the ball. They wanted to force him to throw the ball, and he did it. And it's like, that's really what people have been challenging him to do the whole time. They really showed their hand yesterday. But Colorado, for the most part, they scored 3 more points more than they've scored all season. I point out little nuances and stuff. That's what Greg said to do. I don't always point out statistical things unless it has some relevance. And what's relevant to me is Colorado. When I really look at every game they played, they've scored on the average 20 points. I think the most they scored before yesterday was 21. Yesterday they scored 24. So what that tells me is they're consistent. They're inconsistent far as their play, but their outcome is consistent. When you look at the type of points that they're scoring, the yardage was a little better because they were throwing the ball downfield a little more, but it's not like they really, really, really did significant different things as far as outcome. They did, yeah, all the games look the same. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. I think TCU game and yesterday game was very somewhat identical, even though the score wasn't identical. Because TCU didn't start scoring to the end when Colorado just kind of like whatever, you know. Appreciate it. Yeah, so it's like um they dominated the game, but they were better on third down conversions. I think that if you want to be real, I think they dominated TCU. We want to use the word dominate. I think Colorado dominated TCU, and then they let TCU back in the game. I think they dominated BYU, and they let them back in the game. I think in the early points of Georgia Tech game, they dominated, even though Georgia Tech contributed. But let's be real. The defense got this bend don't break thing. They don't play well till they back against the wall. They let you get all the way down the field and they bear down. And they may stop you if you set enough to go for it on fourth down versus take the field goal. Or you do like BYU. Well, BYU, what's that? BYU, they kicked like 6 field goals. That was the difference in the game. BYU wasn't out there scoring touchdowns. They kicked like 6 field goals. Like the doggone field goal kicker put up like 20 points by himself. You see what I'm saying? So you got to look at all those people. Like look at stats, and you may catch some things with stats, but you really pay attention to the details of the game. BYU beat them. What was the score? I don't even want to look it up, but it's like I think BYU beat them like they might have beat them like 24-21, something like that. You know, but when you look at the game, because they only lost by I think a field goal to BYU, either field goal or touchdown, but they only lost by a little. The only games they really had an extensive breakdown was Houston, which Houston scored kind of like TCU. They took off at the end of the game, but the game was within the possession, even with Staub in the game. So you could say, oh, Salter would have played different. I don't know, because Staub got his couple touchdowns too that game. He ran and got flipped and everything. So when you think about it, Colorado, even with Staub, they score a couple touchdowns and they'll squeeze one out at the end. That's how they've been playing. 21 has been 20, 21 points been the average. Today they scored 24. So even if, Iowa State had a score at 27, it would have been a 27-24 loss. And the reason why I say that, Iowa State, they reminded me so much of CU. They was getting slants wide open. They dropped about 5-6 slants. They self-sabotage on so many levels. I almost like, when Georgia Tech was sabotaged, and I was like, man, I don't want to win like this. I like to see good football regardless. I don't want you to play sloppy and I beat you because you played sloppy to me. And I played sloppy too, but the best of the worst type thing. You know, you say penalties and turnover. I don't know how much they in control of that, because since we bring that up, like I don't count CU score because CU gave up after that fumble. Yeah, they gave up. They can say they didn't, but they definitely gave up. That was the Martin Luther Staub holiday. Yeah, that was Martin Luther Staub. I can't, but yeah, I don't know if Salter would have played any different. Because you got to look at it, they were scoring the same amount of points. See, they didn't really differentiate themselves. Staub differentiates. When you look at Salter, he differentiates himself. He's very good against like making the line look good. He don't take sacks. He mobile. He moving around and things like that. But he don't really take advantage of his down the field stuff. When he did, they won. But it's still like, if you really really want to get crazy with it, he probably could have got in the 30s. Far as points. He just don't catch all those things. They start going out. Their routes was going more down the field. Let's be real. They wasn't doing all this crisscross applesauce stuff. All the routes, 5 yards, one man can cover 3 people. That wasn't what they were looking like today. You saw a lot of downfield routes mixed in with it, and because of who Colorado is, they probably took it for granted. Like, he ain't finna throw it, and they were wide open because they figured he wasn't gonna throw it. But let's go back to this penalty thing. Colorado got this thing where I feel like, since Coach Prime, I feel like that's how they buffered Shador. Every time he made a big play, holding. Every time something happened, they never really called holding on our receivers. They could really call holding everything because they were holding mess out of our receivers. They were very quick. Just like we get called a lot for holding. Our DBs be flat-footed and holding. They called it. They don't call it on Colorado. You show me how many times they call hold. They be fighting and all that in his own jersey hanging all off. I'll never forget when Weaver's whole shoulder pad was out. His whole arm was out. Right in front of the ref, and he did that, and the ref smirked at him. Right in the end zone. And it's like, what's going on? Y'all get these likes up. Help this little poor algorithm. Look, these guys will hold Travis and Weaver and all of them to death because they couldn't cover him. And see, Shador, they were blitzing Shador because they like, hurry up and get to him for them guys get open. And it was Shador be spinning around and going backwards and getting sacks, and that's why we talk about the line and things like that. But they didn't call it. But when they get a big play, holding, boo. Every time they get a big run, holding. Just like we seen. Well, like that holding on to Marion, that wasn't no hold. You call that a hold. Everything the receivers been doing out there is hold. I see doggone McKinney getting tossed like a rat dog trying to get around plays. But they be holding him from behind and the side. Marion was in front of the dude. His hands maybe was a little outside. But they control the game like that, man. Let's call it what it is. That wasn't no hole. There wasn't no hole. And plus, he was so far away from Hayden. Hayden wasn't gonna score anyway, but he wasn't finna tackle him. So it's nothing that Amarian was doing that impeded that guy from getting to Hayden. He wasn't finna get to Hayden. Amarian was in good position, you know, and they called that holding on him. I don't feel like that was a holding, and I feel like they manipulated the game like that. Also, that play in the end zone where the doggone receiver, the tight end with number 18, 19, whatever from Iowa State, everybody tried to make a big deal about that. And an analyst just kept going on about it. He clearly wanted it to be that. But he didn't want the other situations when you see our receivers get hold. He go against that. So you clearly biased because when that guy was boxing, he went up to the dude, stepped on his foot. And that's why they fell down. Usually when you step on somebody's foot and the momentum come, you lose your balance, he loses balance, you fall. That's what happened. He stepped on, I think it was Yates' foot. Then their legs got crossed up, and then they fell together. He inflicted that plus they were 5 yards from the ball. The ball was clearly thrown short. It was picked off before they even hit the ground. Why are y'all mad that they pulled the flag up? You want to make a big deal or something? Like he impeded him. He wasn't finna get the ball anyway. The guy threw the ball short. I mean, you talking like that be neutral. I mean, you talking all that big talk. Look, the guy fell. They were falling down. The ball was already going back the other way. Bayer had jumped up. The ball, he threw a line drive. Bayer got it. That man wasn't gonna catch the ball anyway. Even if Yates wasn't there, he wasn't gonna catch the ball. But the fact that you had like Yates impeding him from catching the ball didn't even make it to you. How is that a pass interference? The pass didn't come to you. You mad they pulled the flag up, the ball wasn't even in your vicinity? Come on now, these people silly, man. These people silly. And you going on, and he should be mad. I believe that. Man, he ran into him. You didn't have to go. He didn't come to you. You ran up to him. You try to be big and bad. You try to box him out like you some kind of Shaquille O'Neal on the basketball court, and you fell. You fell over the person that you tried to box out. He didn't pull you down. You fell down because he fell and you was trying to run over him. And when you ran into him, he fell because you stepped on his foot. You probably stepped on his foot on purpose. You stepped on his foot and he fell. And you standing on his foot. So that made you fall. Come on, man. And he kept going on and on about it. Because they want every call to go against Colorado. Colorado got every call that come hurts them. It's rarely seen that anybody they playing get a third and long that's going to affect the game or after a long run or after a long catch. The closest thing we seen to it was last week at TCU when they had that pick route. And they say, oh, they shouldn't have called that, and then we turned around and kicked the ball off the back of the man Cam Michael's back. Yeah, he kept going on, man. Like, come on, dude. Yeah, I think Yates played the best, and Yates been getting dogged out for me. I remember when Yates came in. I think Yates came in that year with Kamani. Didn't Yates come from one of them small schools like Furman or something? I remember he came. It was toasting him. Yates don't grew up. Yates played better than doggone Vickers did. Yates was more aggressive. I think if he gets some reps, he the better cornerback I don't see. I ain't even know. I mean, I think I seen him in the locker room, but I ain't even thought about no Yates. I thought Yates was gone. I thought he hit the portal. Yeah, he pushed off on Yates, but he stepped on Yates' foot. And we watched it in slow motion 100 times. So, that's how people so delusional. They want to see what they want to see. He was on his foot. When you push somebody and you on their foot, and that's where you're standing at, that's going to throw you off. Plus, they leg kind of like his leg crossed his leg, and they fell together. So, the Yates ain't pulled that man down. He didn't tackle him. Yates was already falling, and the dude fell with him. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Yates. He played the best cornerback, even better than R.J. Johnson was playing, and R.J. Johnson played decent. But I think Yates was solid because at least Yates was able to stop the darn slant. He the only person who broke up the slant. The other slants went through there, and they was dropping them. I mean, they dropped at least 5 slants wide open, and of course the middle eye field. And I'm gonna tell you, those probably would have changed the game because those were third down. They dropped a few. They beat themselves. Iowa State dropped them slants. They was right there. And I'm gonna tell you right here, hats off to them. Yeah, Merritt McPherson. They the only thing that give me any kind of hope to even deal with this stuff next year. They are the future. As long as they ain't hit no Porter, and it wouldn't make sense for them to hit no Porter unless it's money or championship they want to do. But they got their spots, and they got the chance to build something around these two guys. Put one on each side. They got at least 2 years left. Get you some big guys in the middle. I mean, they got the future right there. Even that linebacker room, I don't some of them younger linebackers, hope they developing. They got a future. They can build around these two boys on the end, get some beef in the middle of the defensive line. McKinney Butt need to come back next year. There's no way he's ready. He's no way he's ready to go to the NFL. I'm telling that now. He need to come his behind right on back for his senior year. Unless he wants to go and be like Shiloh them and be on the super duper scout team somewhere, free agent. He need to come on back. I think Byard will be coming back. I think is Ben even a senior? I think Ben will be coming back. I think he gets some valuable reps this year, and he's looking decent. He just got to get his coverage game together, but at least he'll come down and hit. He ain't doing a whole bunch of arm tackling, which has surprised me. He's been a solid tackler. So McKinney come on back. I don't know how many years Yates got left, but I know they should have a cornerback ready by next year. Even they got to recruit one. And so the defense should be better. Now I don't know when that help with scheme or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He ran into him, pushed off, and Yates was falling, but he was standing on his foot. And you anybody know if you stand on somebody's foot and they fall, that's your ground. That's your sinking sand. You gonna fall too, cause you standing on his foot. So it's he falling, and you gonna fall with him. That's the oldest trick in the book. You say that all the time on the basketball court. So that's what happened in that situation. But outside of that, Colorado, they still get key pass interferences, holding calls at all the wrong times. It's always on the big plays. I kid you not. 95% of their penalties is coming on the defensive side on the third down. Tell me how that's possible. It's almost like every third down you expecting to see a flag call, especially if it's a contested catch. You holding your breath because you thinking, man, Marion definitely need to come back. I mean, first of all, they all need to come back because the season ain't what it's supposed to be. They're not dominating. So if they do good this year, they have a chance to dominate next year. Amarion needs to come back. Joseph Williams gonna be back. Only person they really gonna be losing is Sincere Brown. Farrakhan is gonna be back. Gibson is gonna be back. Everybody gonna be back. And of course, Timmons is done. I think Williams is a young dude. Williams from Florida State. He gonna be back. So they got a young receiver room that they can develop. Of course, Draylon be back. Their whole backfield can come back. Dallin can come back, I believe. Dallin can come back. Welch can come back. They don't put Cam Michael back there. I like to see Cam Michael back there, and I like to see him because people don't know him and Draylon. To me, when I remember when they both got recruited, they was very similar to me, even though they was different builds. They both could do a lot. They both can play quarterback, receiver, running back, but realistically, Cam Michael was a little more dynamic than Draylon. He's a little faster. He's a little bigger and taller, and I think he can actually throw the ball. So you play around with him in that, and I like him in that Wildcat. Say, oh, they finna run it. Cam Michael can throw the ball. So to assume he can't throw it. So I don't know what had made them. Maybe he's injured. I don't know what made them decide to finally start using Cam Michael. I've been wondering about him all season. Cam Michael get warmed up. He's a big play waiting to happen. I'm gonna be real with you. Cam Michael to me, he's like a Cordell Stewart style guy. He's dynamic like a Cordell Stewart. Like you can put him at quarterback, and he can be like a Cordell Stewart realistically. Yeah, he's a gamer. He's not gonna do like a Welch. He's not running right in the back of somebody's back. He gonna find a hole, and he gonna get open. You get him the ball enough time, he gonna get open. Yeah, and I thought they was gonna put him at cornerback at one point, cause he really could be a great jersey, a safety. He big enough. They just got to find a way to get him on the field. And he's a guy who we thought he gonna play last year, like Draylon, but he got hurt. He got hurt early in the season, and he probably been hurt this year too. But Cam Michael is a guy. He right out of here, Central Georgia. I was wondering. But I was thinking. I was like, he ain't play. He finna hit that portal. I was just thinking that like a week or two. I'm like, he about to hit that portal. And I guess they felt the same thing and put in the work. Because I'm gonna tell you, that's another young guy that you'll have coming back next year. That's a gamer. He can play slot, but he bigger than the slot. He can play anything on that field. I mean, he can play quarterback. He can play running back. He can play receiver. He can play X, Y, Z. He can play everything, on that field. And he's a gamer. I don't know where Harge is at. I think Harge is injured. So they got a lot of talent. Harge will be back. A lot of the line will be back. A lot of the line is not playing. This backup gonna be back. Jordan Seaton gonna be back. I think the right side of that line will be back. I think Chrysler may be gone. Center will be gone. I think 3 of the linemen will be gone. So I think Trackhawk, I know he'll be back. I think Price, this is last year. But most of that running back room will be back if they don't pull her out. Juju, the best thing he can do, man, is be patient knowing he got a future. Learn everything he can. Eat good, put on weight, get strong. Don't be impatient. He's just turned 18 years old, knowing that the future is in his hand. He ain't got to play this year. I mean, if you play, you play. Because, he still got a lot of season left and people getting hit. But Juju got to be almost like the dude say, you know what? I got to let y'all, a lot of young guys, I need to encourage them not to hit that portal. And I need to be helping with recruiting. Because next year is the year. Next year, it technically is a rebuild year because they got, 38 seniors? But who's contributing the most? We just named 2 of the defensive ends that's contributing. Now, Wade could have came back, but Wade, you remember last year, they was like, we're gonna waste that red shirt, and Wade came out of Kansas. Wade could have red shirt and came back next year. But they might be giving everybody another year in the way. They doing some weird stuff with NCAA. So I think Arden Walker should be about gone. But I don't know, they're gonna give him another year. This thing weird. Sam Okinola, I don't know, they're gonna get him. He keep getting hurt. He gonna get another medical red shirt or something. But them edges, them young boys out the edges, they gonna be ready. They just gotta go get on that recruiting train and say, hey, come on over here, play with us. We play young and we play fast. The only thing I'm thinking about, as I mentioned last week, Coach Prime. I don't know what he gonna be able to do. How long he gonna be able to hang on? He a trooper. If he about on his last leg, but I don't know. I don't know how long he gonna be able to pull this off. Yeah, Harge is he definitely got at least another year. Juju don't need to be he don't need to be mad. He need to be motivated because he ain't got nothing but the future in front of him. He ain't got nothing but the future in front of him. That means he should be that much better next year. He should be that much more prepared next year. Because all them people who came, they came for him. And they gonna stay for him. They gonna stay for him. All them boys that came, Farrakhan gifts, they be looking at see, regardless of what's going on this year, Salter gonna be gone. All these young boys gonna have 3 more years, minimum 2 more years, and they gonna need a quarterback to throw them that ball. O should be back next year to guarantee him he ain't getting no top round pick this year. It'd be dumb. Come back next year with everybody, his name being the guy. Not is he gonna be the guy? That was the question this year. But he is the guy. Everybody said he almost should be expecting him to be a Heisman candidate if he finishes off strong. This guy can be a future Heisman candidate with Juju at quarterback. That's how they should be looking at it. That's how they should be looking at it. O should be like, it's definitely mine next year. Let me be healthy, finish strong. But next year, everybody should be looking at me like they should be looking at me number 4 and the other number 4 up there, Ohio State. That's how he should be looking at it. In old boy down there, Williams at Alabama. It should be that. It should be me. I should be the top 3, top 5 receivers next year. That's how you should be looking at it. Because I think them boys, they was freshmen last year. They coming out next year. So O should be with him. He ain't got the type of year already to come out this year. Yeah, Yo should be ready to get in now. Recruiting is gonna be critical for them. Recruiting is gonna be critical for them. Y'all, speaking of I wanna make sure I drop this in here because who's on Facebook? I want to make sure y'all check out on Facebook. I've had this up for a minute, just been dumping stuff in it. And I looked up, there's almost 2,000 folks in the group. And I was like, I saw some stuff on there, and I was like, is that my group? And it don't took off. So y'all, make sure some of y'all on here, make sure y'all check out the Colorado football updates. You see it scrolling at the bottom. Go ahead and check out Colorado Buffaloes football updates. Go ahead and join that. A lot of stuff I can't drop on YouTube, I drop it now. A lot of the clips and the videos and stuff. And it's more interactive throughout the week. Make sure y'all check that. I built that a while back for that purpose. And I kind of let it sit. I'm like, But now it's growing. I also have Beyond Buffs on there. Beyond Buffs is content for like Travis, Shador, Jimmy, Dejounte, even Shiloh, all the guys and the future guys after they leave Colorado. I drop a lot of the content over there in the Beyond Buffs. Yeah, I saw you, Allen, on there. Yeah, so I've been dropping content just like I dropped in Colorado football, Buffalo's football updates. I had that probably the first year, but I wasn't actively pushing it. I just was dropping stuff in it. It was a public group, and I guess eventually people started joining it because I was like, man, this thing ain't growing. I'm just gonna keep dropping, and I've been doing that with Beyond Buffs. So y'all go see Beyond Buffs. It's not a lot of people in there right now, but it's a lot of content in there just because it's been dropping there. So I've been encouraging, you all and people in the other group to get in that group, right? So y'all check that out. Yeah, hopefully, you say want to see it. I mean, maturity issues, of course. I mean, the guy just turned 18. He technically should have, at the earliest, graduated his junior year. His junior year just ended last summer, and he ended that half a year early. Technically, this would be his senior year of high school. It's a known fact if he had stayed on, he broke the record this year. He left for a year and a half early to go to Colorado. Technically, you say if he wanted to sit the bench, he could have just came in the summer. True. But that shows his age. That shows maturity right there. Not just the age, but he technically could be a senior in high school right now. Don't rush that. Talent ain't the problem. Mental, reading defenses. He got a lot of stuff he already know. This is time for him to develop. Because once he get out there and he's stronger, faster, more knowledgeable, more confident, it's going to put Colorado in a good situation next year. Because he's going to have the weapons. The weapons that's playing now going to be back next year. They're only going to really lose production from Sincere Brown. And he's not even the most active right now. What's going on? Whew. So I'm going to see you inside or against Prime 2, like Matt Smith. He's over in this critical. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes your biggest critics are the people close to you. Norcross, Georgia. What's going on? Representing Norcross, Georgia. Yes, sir. I'm critical of Colorado from the standpoint of wanting to get better because we all know we can say they could be. So there was a 6 game. A lot of us say, oh, they could be 5-1 at this point. Some people could say they could be 6-0. They really played an identical game. Is it the fantasy, the theory that I created? Yeah, I'm gonna claim it because I had to take a lot of heat from my peers about the daytime buffs. Is this another case of the daytime buffs? Y'all put it in the chat. Is this the mystery that I've clearly explained to the point Coach Prime don't repeat it verbatim, Warren Sapp don't repeat it verbatim, and I was the only one saying it, and I said it enough for it to get on everybody's nerves. And it ain't, until everybody starts saying it. Now I'm hearing other content creators say, oh, they play in the daytime. It is known now that the daytime buffs is a thing. If you don't believe me, show me the last time they lost a daytime game. I'll wait. I guarantee you their daytime record is a lot better than their nighttime record. And the later they play, the worse their record. Matter of fact, I'll go to say they ain't won a late night game. They ain't won not one of them 10 o'clock games. I think they might have won that Colorado State game when they lost Travis, got him broke all up, and they had to go in double overtime against Colorado State. But all them they ain't won a weekday game. And these people, these little devils know that. Just because you ain't paying attention to the stats, don't mean they ain't. They know good and doggone well. Colorado ain't won not one Thursday night. I mean, what they did, somebody they supposed to beat. North Dakota State barely beat them. These Thursday night games, Friday night games, 10-15, really starting at 10:30, 10:45 games. They ain't winning that. Colorado get out there and play sleep. The crowd be sleep. I was there sleep with them one time when we went to Kansas State. I guarantee you they'd have played that Kansas State game during the day they would have beat them. I guarantee you they would have beat Kansas State. If they had played at 4:30 instead of, what was 8:30 their time, 10:30 out here on the East, I guarantee you they would have been. That's what people don't, that's what I want to talk about. That little tweak, just like everything else. That little tweak. The only reason, and everybody talk real strong about Houston. Houston didn't beat them more dominant than TCU. The game was within one touchdown until the end, just like TCU. Everybody's so sure Houston beat the mess out of Houston didn't beat the mess out of you. Look at it. Go look at it. Houston, Staub came within taking the lead. It was down by 3. And Staub could have when they scored a touchdown, but they didn't. And then Houston went on and pulled away after that. They could have took the lead before the fourth quarter. Yeah, I talked about the music. And you don't hear that as much at practice as much. But I think that had a lot to do with their Swayze. Now, some people would definitely say, there was something to it. They didn't keep giving them night games for fun. Their record has been affected by when they play. Guarantee you that. You look at the data. It's in the stats. Everybody want to look at the stats. Look at it. Look at it. It's right there in front of you. Whether you understand it or not, look at all the night games they play and look at their record. Look at all the day games they played and look at how many they lost. The only game I really remember them losing in the daytime is Oregon that year. And that was right after them losing Travis and all that crap. And it was early. And that was like, they played Oregon all the way out there. That was the earliest game. You thought that would have been a night game. And then they lost to, I think, it was Arizona or Oregon State. And they really had that game beat. Referees helped them out, helped them to lose. Late penalties in the fourth quarter. Giving people extra third downs and stuff. They end up losing by a touchdown or a field goal. You know, that kind of stuff. All the games you see is coming down to touchdowns and field goals, win or lose. And if referees had their way, Colorado will keep losing these close games because they throwing these flags at the wrong time. Now, Iowa State, like I said, missed a lot of opportunities. Look, they don't want them to succeed for a lot of reasons, but you got to look at it. It's going to affect their recruiting. Like Colorado winning, they're going to get the recruits. And then you're also looking at the fact that the NFL situation. The NFL able to leverage not recruiting people from Colorado by, oh, y'all didn't win. Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas wasn't really a day game. I mean, it wasn't one of those day games. It was a day game. because I remember that went against all the theories. They said, oh, they play better away, and then it was a day game. Yep. And I know he was one of them that first year. Oregon, it was either Oregon or it was either Oregon State or Arizona. I think it was Oregon State that year that they played Oregon State, and they had Oregon State beat. They were beating the mess out of Oregon State, and then let Oregon State come back on them. And I think they lost by like a field goal. That 2023 year. All them games was just like this year. Oh, they just need to win one game. Oh, they gonna be bowl eligible because they started out 3-0. All they needed was 3 games to win. And then they got all the way down to Utah and they just stole it from Utah. Utah was a day game that year, but I don't count that because they stole 3 touchdowns for Colorado to lose by a field goal. And that was in year 1. I don't even count that. That's disrespectful. Yeah. So I think this real quick, good, bad, and ugly. I think Colorado, they played a more full game. It wasn't like, oh, they scored 14 real quick. They didn't score a lot early. It's kind of spread it out, right? So I think that was the difference. It was a more spread out game. Again, they didn't score that much more. You know, it was either Oregon State or Arizona that year that they played a day game, and it was winning. It was winning. Yeah. So let me see. Can I get my good stuff here? Okay. I'm gonna try to pull up. Just for information's sake, when we look at the breakdown of the game, Colorado versus just the distribution of the game, just from this on time I really would look at stats. Colorado versus Iowa State, and I like to look at like, okay, first quarter Colorado scored 7. Next thing you know, Iowa State jumped up on them at the last minute, 7-7, then 10-7 going to halftime. So here's Colorado going to halftime. They throwing the stats up and everything. They like, well, Colorado, yeah, they let Arizona back in now. Yeah. And the referees helped too on that. I remember that phantom catch on the sideline with the blade of grass and all. I remember that. That might have been Oregon State, but it happened 2 weeks in a row. They made some bogus calls, some third down penalties, all that. They happen all the time. These third down penalties is nothing new. But Iowa State on the road, up at halftime, undefeated, 18-0, 13-0. Oh, here they go with this. Whoop, that is. Then after that, Colorado came back third quarter, which is different. This is what they did. They scored 14 points in the third quarter. They used to be scoring 14 points in the first quarter. So here it is. They up. Now it's 21-17. And then Colorado ended up kicking a field goal later on to take it up 24. But Colorado also missed it was a long field goal. If your boy had got to the middle of the field on his catch, it would have been an easy kick. You want to kick a long kick. You want it to be straight. And that's what he did. He kicked it straight. And that's why he missed it right. But if Sincere Brown had the IQ, or they called a timeout or something right before that, why when you catch the ball, they leave in the middle wide open, you had a timeout. Catch the ball, get to the middle of the field. Don't go to the sideline. Don't fall on the hash. Get to the middle of the field because we're trying to get a long field goal. Because you could have planned for the field goal, and they plan to stop you from scoring. So they left you wide open in the middle of the field, and you get many yards you can, get to the middle of the field. He would have made that field goal, and then they would have went, they would have had that, another 3 points. So they end up winning by a touchdown. They should have won by at least 10. But I can't say what they should have won by because Iowa State dropped a lot of slants and stuff that would have moved the chains. The coach made some silly call. That was a silly call, even though Colorado didn't capitalize because Colorado got down there and they didn't get a field goal. On the 20-yard line, went for fourth down and didn't get it. A lot of disrespectful stuff. They really showed they didn't respect Colorado. They really thought they were better than what they was, and Colorado was better than what they was. Now, I will admit, linebackers play suspect, but It's strange to me. Jeremiah Brown ended up being one of the better linebackers. Maybe he been around the longest. He definitely reading better. French, he's not reading as good as he used to. Because he used to play side back on one play, and instead of scraping, he just ran into the hole, a hole, and the ball went outside. Of course, Jeremiah can get that's that long run that running back made. He should have been, playing to the outside. He was the outside backer. If anything, it should have been cut back to Jeremiah. But he took the inside. Jeremiah couldn't get to that. That running back, that second level, he was gone. And the old running back doing this, doing that. No, man, it's just how they playing. So they still got a lot of work to do, especially at that second level, on how they deal with the run. Because it ain't a running back they ain't played that ain't cut loose. I don't care if you're 140 pounds soaking wet or 220 pounds. They ain't played a running back. Last week, somehow they played their running back better. But for the most part, most running backs, they getting 150 plus on CU. Quarterback, no matter what he done before, he finna run. And they running. These quarterbacks running. I thought the quarterback yesterday would have ran more than he ran. Minute, that's what he is. So maybe they schemed up something a little better. At the end of the day, CU held them to 7 points the whole second half. They gave up most of their points in the second quarter because the defense kind of let down. If CU's defense played more consistent, because they dropped, they got in there, they could have kicked some field goals, Iowa State. They going for 4th and goal and stuff, not getting it. They had some opportunities to put points on the board. They chose to be greedy and not kick the field goal. Maybe because they had some injuries or something, I don't know. But that hurt them because they weren't putting points on the board. They wasn't affecting momentum. I feel like people say Coach Prime has never outcoached somebody. I think yesterday may have been the first by default. Iowa State outcoached themselves. They just destroyed their own self with their decision making. It was almost like, again, I'm the kind of guy, I want to win. I want to win fair and square. I don't want to win because you don't. Man, they made some silly decisions yesterday. Iowa State. Very costly decisions. Yeah, it was slants and cross route. They hit him right in the hands. Sometimes he was throwing it behind, but it was him and it was them. They dropped at least 5-6 passes wide open. That would have moved the chains, and it would have been a big game. Nobody in the middle of the field. Colorado never had nobody in the middle of the field. All the linebackers on the line, safety's way back there. They catch the ball, they can be gone every single time, 30 yards plus. So the defense finally made key third. Yeah, that was the difference. These teams was greedy on some third and fourth, and they got stopped. That's the difference between this game and a lot of other games where it was like automatic. Like, I guess you say Houston dominated. They was getting these downs. They was getting Georgia Tech was too. Yeah, Georgia Tech messing around about to be in the top 10. Georgia Tech, I don't think they was better than. I think everybody we played, looking at the score, looking at what other teams score, look we score, have been identical. This conference is very identical how they play. TCU games identical to this game, to Houston game, to BYU. Georgia Tech was identical. I think their quarterback was a little more dominant. He's more Tebow-ish. The only other quarterback that was Tebow-ish, ironically enough, was the freshman quarterback at BYU. He was moving the ball well, and yet we supposed to have beat them. So nobody has dominated. I don't care who you say, Houston. I don't care what the score say. Nobody has dominated Colorado. Colorado has had a scoring issue. Even this game, this is probably the highest one outside of like Wyoming, Delaware, something like that. These just their conference in the same level opponents, they have not been able to get over 20, 21 points. You just cracked over 24. That's not that much better. It's just that it was more evenly distributed. And the defense had some key turnovers. So if I were to look at like stats, let me see. Team stats. Colorado total yards didn't have more total yards. They had 395, which is good for Colorado. Iowa State had 441 yards, but 17 points. Colorado had more passing yards with 255. Iowa State had 205, but they had 236 rushing yards. I guess that's why they lost. Everybody usually get 300 or something with Colorado. That one running back had over 160 yards. Colorado had 140. That seems to be their thing now. They get over 100, but it be a little over 100. 120, 130, 140. Average yards per play, 6.2. Colorado, 6.3 for Iowa State. First downs. Iowa State had 22 first downs to Colorado 16. So they won the first down. But third down efficiency, Colorado had 7 out of 15. That's supposed to be good, right? It's not that great. But compared to the 2 out of 12, that's where they lost the game at. They couldn't get third down for nothing. Iowa State was 2 for 12 and made Colorado 7 for 15 look good. Colorado was under 50%. That's the game. Both of them tried fourth down and failed once. They had 70 plays to Colorado 64. They both punted 6 times. They had 7 penalties. Colorado had 6. No fumbles. And they threw that one interception at the end. Colorado somehow had time possession. Just a few seconds more. 6 seconds more. Colorado had 30 minutes and 3 seconds to Iowa State's 29 minutes and 57 seconds. So, you looking at stats. Colorado don't look dominant. It looked like Colorado only won in 3 categories. And Iowa State won in 6, even though it was close. So realistically, the game was a lot closer than what it looked like. Yet Colorado beat them by 7. One more touchdown. Iowa State had the stats to win. They had missed opportunities, and it showed. So you can't get too high on this thing. Like, oh, Colorado did it. Because Iowa State, technically, statistically, could have won based off the amount of yards you're giving up. So the key stops that the defense made. The Iowa State only had 2 for 12 third down and no fourth down. That's what Colorado been losing at. Not being able to get off the field on third down. And letting people we just run on fourth down. We don't care. We're on the 10-yard line. We going for it. We ain't punting. That's the kind of respect people been giving Colorado. So Colorado got that win. Some of the penalties, of course, even though you can say it ain't last year. You ain't getting 10, 11, 12 penalties a game. But they got 6 games. They averaging like 6 penalties a game. They had, 6 penalties for 43 yards. And Iowa State had 7 for 59. Sam O and RJ hitting the portal. So I don't know, man. Sam O, if he just holding out, maybe. I don't know. That portal is dangerous, man, when you don't have a production. You ain't even playing unless you know somebody. But at the end of the day, Colorado got that win, man. They've been hanging this over Coach Prime head for so long. He ain't beat no top-ranked team. He's been right there at it. I don't know if that's all his fault. Teams have had help. Colorado have their share of issues, but teams have had their help. So kudos to Colorado for this win. I'm going to tell you that much. Now you get a break. You go to Utah. Let me see what Colorado's schedule is. You go to Utah. And then after that, you come back home with Arizona. Then you go to West Virginia. So people saying like this. Colorado's at the point now. They finally got that third win. First conference win. And you really can go and spank Utah and get your next conference win, right? And that's the Utah play somebody. I don't know who Utah played off week and they're going to lose, but you can go and get 2 for 1. But like, ooh, Coach Prime got 2. Utah still ranked, even though they barely ranked. Or maybe they'll take Utah ranked, so Colorado beat them. They won't count for that. Weird stuff. Get Utah at Utah. I don't really respect Utah, especially after they cheated that year. You can beat Utah. Nobody special. You can beat Arizona for sure. You can beat West Virginia for sure. And then you come back home against Arizona State. At the end of the day, you really got to win out. You want to make a bowl game, whatever that's worth. Just because you want to be consistent with what you did last year, at least. I don't know you end up at the Alamo Bowl. I don't know they still got them contracts. Be back at the Alamo Bowl again. But let's do what you got to do. Because you can be the spoiler for some people. You can be the spoiler for Arizona State for sure. And Utah. Go ahead and end their little season. Go ahead and give them something that they have to fight for. I don't know how it's going to turn out because you just gave up 3 back-to-back losses. When you lost TCU, you really need to lose that game if you want to have any hope of sneaking up in the end. Because you don't lost to 2. I don't know what Houston going to do. Well, I don't even know what Houston doing. But I know BYU, for example. BYU, they definitely got a smooth run. I mean, they had like 3 little cupcake games back to back. They can definitely ride it out and be in the championship. And Texas Tech, let me see what Texas Tech did. Because Texas Tech probably still undefeated. Texas Tech is spanking folks. You hear me? They beat Kansas 42-17. Texas Tech is spanking people. So they riding themselves. They said they got the Texas Tech as second in the Big 12. They got Texas Tech second because they behind BYU. Because we didn't do BYU a favor and got them looking like they something. We didn't do BYU a favor. So we're going to have to be the spoiler this year, like you just said right here. We're going to have to spoil people like Kansas did last year. That's the only thing you can be doing right now. Yeah, that's from TCU, that first game. They ain't done it since the first game. They've been holding that over his head. Colorado all the way at the bottom over UCF, West Virginia, and Oklahoma. They got Arizona over you. They got Kansas State over you. The only person they got behind you that you're going to play is West Virginia. Baylor over you. Everybody over you. Because Kansas, Houston and Utah have lost one. And Arizona State have lost one. Everybody has lost one, but you don't already lost. Colorado pulled behind and lost 3. Too early. Who did Houston lose to? Houston lost to, of course, Texas Tech on the 4th. Texas Tech spanked them. Texas Tech ranked number 7. I didn't even know they ranked higher than everybody. I didn't even know they was ranked that high. Texas Tech is number 2 in the conference, but they higher ranked than BYU. Do they play BYU? Because that's going to be interesting if they got to play them. BYU barely beat Arizona. Well, Arizona tried to come up on BYU. BYU got to play Utah next week. So they'll go pull Utah. Utah going to be unranked. So that was your chance. Unless Utah sneak BYU. Somebody need to go ahead and get sneak BYU because Arizona show tried. If Utah sneak BYU, that'll be nice. And I'm saying help Colorado from that. But BYU do got to play Texas Tech in a couple weeks. BYU, I don't know. BYU can mess around and have a problem with Utah. Then they got to play Iowa State. Iowa State can sneak them. They can, And then Texas Tech surely going to get them. Then they got to go to TCU. BYU, Cincinnati, the way they've been playing, if they anything legit, BYU can mess around and lose a couple games. The problem is Colorado should have gave them that first loss. You would have been in a better situation. Because BYU can lose to Iowa State, Texas. They definitely lose Texas Tech. But they ain't got no losses. So if Utah get them their first loss, Texas Tech give them their second loss. Even if they get a third loss, y'all, they still got the head-to-head over Colorado. Oh, man. Colorado, boy, you screwed yourself with these close games. You're going to get beat. But whatever. Y'all, I'm going to get on up out of here. Colorado got the win. Congratulations. Get the monkey off your back. Now you got to be the spoiler. Everybody spoiled you last year. They want to make you the Super Bowl. Give them reason to be the Super Bowl. Go spank some folks. Because they don't took y'all season from you. You lost 3 games back to back. You should have got one of them. You definitely should have got TCU. You really should have had TCU and BYU. So you gave away the game quarterback situation in Houston. If you only had one loss, you'd be in a good position right now. Because these people finna go to losing. They finna go to losing. BYU finna get some losses and give out some losses along the way. Texas Tech, they sitting pretty. They might ride this thing all the way through. If they get one loss, they still, they might ride this thing all the way out. Wow. Boy, close this thing out, y'all. I'm just Greg said it, y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, see these. Scroll at the bottom. Go ahead and join the Colorado Buffaloes football updates on Facebook and also Beyond Buffs on Facebook. Make sure y'all check that out. A lot of good content there. And as always, I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good one.